Next on the news. Catholics across the world are showing their devotion to a centuries-old Marian apparition Thursday.
Thousands of faithful descend on the streets of Brooklyn and Queens to honor Our Lady of Guadalupe. I'm Katie Vasquez, and I'll have that story coming up.
The Diocese of Brooklyn getting ready for Christmas, preparing to light a massive tree in Grand Army Plaza. Plus, they don't work in Catholic education, but they are being honored for their commitment to students and their faith. Meet the educators who try to bring Catholic values to city classrooms. I'm Christine Persichetti. Currents News starts right now. A show of faith that's been done for hundreds of years, thousands filling the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph to honor Our Lady of Guadalupe. It's a devotion that dates back centuries, a vision of the Blessed Mother that has traveled from Mexico and spreads throughout the Diocese of Brooklyn with the help of hundreds of faithful with torches in hand. Their pilgrimage, spreading the light of Christ through the streets, is a strong show of faith unlike any other. Currents News' Katie Vasquez tells us more from Prospect Heights.
From the way they're dressed to their dance steps, every part of this celebration at the Co-Cathedral of St. Joseph is highlighting a faith that has been passed down through the generations.
Our feeling says we are dancing to our God. We are praising Him. We are glorifying Him.
It's all in honor of Our Lady of Guadalupe, an almost 500-year devotion to the Blessed Mother, so strong both in Central America and in the Diocese of Brooklyn that Bishop Robert Brennan celebrated 2 Spanish masses, one for Queens parishes and one for Brooklyn churches on Thursday.
She teaches us to go to Christ, and that Christ is in the middle of us all. He's walking among us. And so that's what these people are representing, that they're celebrating Jesus Christ walking with us through the journey of life.
The coordinator for Mexican immigrants, Father Sanchez Alonso, says this feast broke records.
4,000 people divided into 2 masses. Every year has increased.
And that devotion will spread through the streets of Brooklyn and Queens. After Mass, Bishop Brennan passes along a flame to more than 50 torch runners, which they will carry on foot back to their parishes.
Taking the torches back to their parishes, it's a great sign of the light of Christ being brought through the neighborhoods, witnessing to our faith and our devotion.
For some, the trek will be longer than others, but the runners don't mind because they have their faith and each other.
The community is the best part because we all come together to celebrate one purpose, and it's the Mother Mary. She's our mother, and as a mother, she loves us so much that she gave her only son to us.
In Prospect Heights, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
So how did this great tradition begin? The Virgin of Guadalupe, like the Shroud of Turin, actually appeared on a piece of fabric. It was 1531 when she first appeared on a hill in Mexico. A peasant, Juan Diego, saw her there. She identified herself and asked him to build her a shrine. Juan Diego ran to the Archbishop of what is now Mexico City, but he dismissed Diego, demanding proof. So Diego returned to the hill and encountered Our Lady again. She told him to go to the top of the hill and pick some flowers for the Archbishop. When he got there, he found Castilian roses, which are not native to Mexico. But even more significant than that, his cloak, his tilma, was miraculously imprinted with a colorful image of the Virgin herself. All these years later, it remains the most sacred object in all of Mexico. Now that we know where the devotion began, let's look at the celebrations at the Basilica of Our Lady of Guadalupe in Mexico City. That's where Juan Diego's tilma is today. Devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe is at an all-time high, with more pilgrims visiting her shrine annually than visitors to Vatican City. 12.5 million people visited the Basilica in December of 2022. As Katie mentioned, in the Diocese of Brooklyn, thousands of torch runners are on an hours-long pilgrimage. Here are some of the paths those torch runners are taking. As you can see, they travel to all corners of the diocese, from Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, to Jamaica, Queens, spreading the light of Christ. For some, it takes hours. They won't reach their destinations until well after sunset. You can read more about the Diocese of Brooklyn's Our Lady of Guadalupe celebrations online at thetablet.org. And while you're there, consider subscribing to the paper so you can read stories you won't see anywhere else. In the tablet this weekend, some ways to make your Christmas brighter. Read more about the paper's campaign to ensure every kid has a gift under the tree for the holiday. And if you have a child you're shopping for, read about some faith-filled gifts you can get them. Again, that's all in this week's paper, so be sure to pick up the tablet at your local church. You can also get into the holiday spirit this Friday with the Diocese of Brooklyn's annual tree lighting ceremony. Bishop Brennan will flip the switch on the 28-foot Norway spruce, turning on thousands and thousands of multicolored lights representing the diversity of the Diocese of Immigrants. The bishop will also bless the nativity scene. I have the honor of emceeing the event, so be sure to join me at Grand Army Plaza this Friday, December 13th at 5 p.m. Catholic teachers who work in public schools were honored Wednesday for their commitment to their students and their faith.
We are about to receive from thy bounty through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Brooklyn Bishop Robert Brennan started the evening at Russo's on the Bay in Howard Beach with a prayer and offered his appreciation for the people who teach in New York City public schools but remain devoted to their faith. Each of the 6 honorees were selected by the Catholic Teachers Association based on their work as a principal, teacher, or union member. While religion is typically not in the classroom at public schools, they say they are united by faith, and the event is a way to bond.
Anytime somebody wants to just take a moment to acknowledge anybody for the work they're doing, it feels nice, it feels good, and I'm just appreciative of that, and for the organization itself, just to take a moment tonight, not just acknowledge me, but other educators in the field for the work they're doing.
If you think about it, the number of our children who are educated in our public schools is enormous, and so I want to be able to support the Catholic teachers who are serving in all of our schools, and we want to be able to support them in their good work.
Although we may not speak to being Catholic inside our public schools, we are absolutely modeling what it is to be a strong Catholic, which is to lead a good spiritual life, to live a life of caring about others, compassion for others, empathy for others.
All the honorees took home a shiny plaque. Organizers say the event is also a fun way to end the year. One of the Catholic educators recognized was John Roulan, the principal of William H. Maxwell Career and Technical High School in East New York. While he has worked in New York City public schools for decades, he says it's the values he's gained from his Catholic faith that have guided him in education and helped his students achieve success. Currents News' Katie Vasquez explains how from Brooklyn.
Hi, Roulan.
Hey, Cece.
How's your morning?
There is an open-door policy at Mr. Roulan's office in William H. Maxwell Career and Technical Education High School in East New York.
What's up?
And the Brooklyn principal is always open to hearing from students.
When you see how you impact kids' lives, it makes the job worth it.
So you got candy?
Spending a whole school day together creates a bond, and the administrator views these teens as his own children.
You become emotionally attached, so when things go wrong and something happens to them, it happens to you.
Did you like that? Yeah, I did. Nice.
It's been a comfort to these scholars who didn't expect to enjoy going to the principal's office.
He basically is one with his students. He tries to look out for everybody, be on their side, get to understand who they are as a person.
I feel like he controls the school with a sense of love rather than fear, which I think is a great motivator for the students.
He grew up in the neighborhood, attending St. Fortunata Parish, and says he tries to instill those Catholic values like corporal acts of mercy on his students. When he came aboard in 2022, he created a food pantry, recognizing that some students couldn't afford a good meal.
I feel that when they see others in need, they realize that their lives are not as bad as they think they are. And so I think it's very important to really give back to the community and society as a whole.
His efforts to better his students' lives outside the classroom is being recognized by his peers at the Catholic Teachers Association. It's an accomplishment he doesn't take for granted.
I was shocked, but deep down inside, it's always nice to be appreciated and to be recognized for all the things that you do.
And it's rewarding for him to think he's helping these students get on the path to success just by being an attentive listener.
When the kids come back year after year and thank you for not giving up on them and really helping them, it makes you want to do more and give back more.
In East New York, Katie Vasquez, Currents News.
Congrats to all of the honorees. And that is this Currents News update. I'm Christine Persichetti. Thank you for joining us because we are putting your faith in the news. Before we go, one final look at the Diocese of Brooklyn's Our Lady of Guadalupe celebration. Hope to see you again next time.
Que has puesto a este pueblo tuyo bajo la especial protección de la siempre Virgen María de Guadalupe, Madre de tu Hijo. Y coman todos de él, porque esto es mi cuerpo que será entregado por ustedes.